What if I told you I created a point center build that could ISO any defender to get crab threes, can get Zeus-like jumps to snag over anybody in the paint? A point center build that could get ankle breakers and quick stop and pop from anywhere on the court. A point center build with legend dimer allowing my teammates to hit tightly contested shots like nothing. A point center build that can ISO and hit contested threes. A point center build that can honey dip windmill alley-oops with his eyes closed. At 6'9" with long arms, can get snatch blocks and throw precise break passes. And as the icing on the cake, can make tightly contested layups with legend layup mixmaster. This build is broken. Now I know you guys love watching streams, but what if I told you you could be making money from watching those streams? Well, if you're interested in that, you're going to want to check out the sponsor of today's video, 1v1me. Now let me explain. 1v1me is a platform that lets you stake on the best NBA 2K players in the world and make money if they win. They've paid out over $50 million already, and they pay direct via PayPal. Now, as you can see, there's tons of matchups going on constantly. Whether it's 2K, Madden, or any other game that you're looking to get involved with, 1v1me has you covered. One of my favorite things about the 1v1me app is that when you go into these matchups, you can see a detailed statistical breakdown of how these players have performed in the past. What's their record? How much money have stakers won placing money on them? And then, of course, when you go in, you'll see the odds and how much you'll win if you stake on them. $50 on Dino here, I would take home 90 bucks. And with over 175 matches per week, there's always something to stake on. Now, if you want to get in on this, go to 1v1.me/Joe Knows and use code Joe Knows to get $10 added to your first stake. This code is only available for a limited time, so what are you waiting for? Go ahead and take your phone out and download 1v1me and use code Joe Knows to get $10 added to your first stake. Now, reminder, you must be 18 years of age or older to stake, and thank you to 1v1me for sponsoring today's video. Let's get right into it. After streaming on this build, you guys demanded it. I made it left-handed, number 23. Obviously, it doesn't matter. You guys can do what you want. And I just want to mention, I made this build with cap breakers in mind, okay? I put my cap breakers on this build, so tweak the build to your liking, whether you have cap breakers or not, like I always say. If you have cap breakers or you don't have cap breakers, you obviously want to tweak this to unlock certain badges. I'll show you where I put my cap breakers. I made this at 6'9". I love max wingspan players, but I wanted to get silver set shot specialist, so I had to go one tick under the max wingspan, 7'4" on the wingspan, and then the weight is going to be 225 pounds. Now, some of you might say, oh, I play 5v5 rec center, like I can't play on a 6'9" center. You probably can, but I would recommend if you're going to play 5v5, you're going to be going against 7-footer, 7'1", 7'2", 7'3", you probably want to have a center with you and you play power forward. But this build wasn't really created for fives. It was more for 2s, 3s, and in those game modes, you can absolutely play as the center at 6'9". But even in 5v5, you can get away with the undersized bigs if you guys have, you know, played or tried it or seen it, but you're obviously at a bit of a disadvantage in 5v5 if you're, you know, giving up 4, 5, 6 inches of height. Anyways, moving on. This build, like I said, was mainly for the 3s, 2s, park. It's a fun build, and it is absolutely a fun build. If you tune into that stream, you know. But physicals first, 82 speed. We didn't use any of our cap breakers on our physicals. 69 agility, it's a bit low, but if you have stick and you know what you're doing at 6'9" with long arms and the defensive stats that we have, when I played on it, I had no problem. We were going crazy, and you're gonna see all the clips of us from the first stream of me on this build. 84 on the strength. That's going to get you a bunch of badges. We'll go over those in a second. And then on the vertical, we're going 70. That's also going to help you unlock some badges, some animations, and all that. So let's go. Start from the top. Let's start with the finishing. 83 close shot. That is tied to other attributes, but even with 83 at 6'9", you get a small player on you. You go up in the paint right over him, standing layup, not an issue. Here's where it starts to get real glitchy, real fun, real quick. We're going 93 layup, and we're going to use 4 of our cap breakers to push our layup mixmaster from 93 to 97 to unlock Hall of Fame layup mixmaster. And then we would use our badge max +1 to go from Hoff to legend layup mixmaster. And even when I was just grinding my badges with a 93 layup, with silver mixmaster, gold mixmaster, you can make red layup after red layup, yellow layup after yellow layup, Euro step after Euro step. The layups are crazy. If you haven't played on a layup build this year on 25, it's a new, unique way to play the game if all you've been doing is dunking or shooting threes, or if you haven't been experimenting with the layups, I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I was making reds, yellows, crazy behind the back, Euro step, you know, jelly, like everything you could want to do in terms of layups, this build was doing it. Onto the dunk. 80 driving dunk is what I went with. I contemplated even going 65 and just being more layup dependent, but I decided I'm gonna slap 80 on it. You get some good animations. You definitely get bouncy at 6'9", long arms. You know, just something about that wingspan. I just love long wingspan players. The defense, the rebounding, the finishing, the dunking, and even the dribbling with long arms. To me, it just feels better. It looks better. It looks glitchier. All that stuff, man. So we went with the 80 dunk, and you're gonna throw it down very, very well. Obviously, tweak it. You know, maybe you want less, use the attributes elsewhere, like I always say. Maybe you want more, maybe you want contact dunks. Tweak it to how you want. I went with 80. 72 on the standing. This is gonna get you that bronze rise up. You are going to standing dunk anytime you have space. But if you're body to body with somebody, then it gets complicated. Sometimes you go up with a layup, you know, a close shot, all that stuff. But anytime you're open on the slip or open on a cut, or you take that extra dribble instead of going up with the driving layup or driving dunk, you take that extra dribble, you're gonna stand and dunk every time with this build. 72 is very, very, like, it's very valid, especially on a build this tall. 53 post control, we're not touching it at all, but with the 84 strength and even only 53 post control, you can still drop step and throw people out of the way, as you can see right there. So you can definitely get a little glitchy in the post, but it's not a build that's meant to go into the post. Now, as I said, we wanted that silver set shot specialist. We don't have a lot of shooting, but we have enough that you are a threat, especially if you are somebody who has mastered rhythm shooting. Even if you haven't mastered it, you just experimented with it a little bit, you can go crazy with a 78 3 ball and rhythm shooting. Get you that silver set shot, bronze shifty, bronze deadeye. If they leave you open and you master that rhythm shot, you are going to green. You see I'm green and yellows. One thing I will say with rhythm shooting, it is easier to rhythm shoot on a slower jump shot. Like if you're on a 6'2" guard with A+ maxed out speed, it can be a bit challenging. You can still do it, but it's a bit challenging. But on these bigger players, since the jump shots are slower on the bigger players, it's a bit easier to time. So on your bigger players, definitely try it out. We're leaving the free throw at 53. Again, this is not a 5v5 build. This is more for 2s and 3s. Pass accuracy, 92 pass accuracy. This is going to give you a bunch of passing badges, but the one we really wanted was Hoff Dimer, and we use our Badge Max +1 in the tier 2 category to push it to Legend Dimer. And I have a whole video dropping about Legend Dimer, but just a couple quick clips here. It's pretty crazy, man. On a game that everyone is complaining about shooting consistently, you know, I'm missing open, I'm missing shots I'm never supposed to miss. Legend Dimer, Hoff Dimer, any of these builds with high pass accuracy, they're going to help your teammates relieve some of that frustration. And also, the higher the pass accuracy, in my opinion, it gives you better, consistent catches on your catch and shoot jump shots. When you pass it to your teammate, you got that 92 pass, they're gonna get clean catches and it's gonna make their jump shot timing more consistent. Of course, you also get gold break starter, silver bailout. You know, you might want to put it to 93 to get the Hoff break starter, but for me, again, I wasn't really concerned about the 5v5 aspect of it, and gold is still decently like valid in 5v5. You'll throw pretty consistent breaks, especially with the high pass act. Moving on to the ball handle, we are maxing this out at 80. You get pretty good dribble sings. Obviously, the bigger players this year are not moving extremely fast, but you can definitely get a little glitchy with it, crabbing people for threes, you know, using that Zion dribble style cross launch to get into the paint, you know, especially when you grab a rebound and you're pushing it coast to coast, decent, you know, crossovers and behind the backs, and just keeping that downhill momentum. That 80 ball handle is definitely valid. The one thing I will say is you only get that bronze handles for days, so you're gonna tire out pretty quickly if you're trying to ISO all the time. But as like a secondary ball handler, ISO type player, you know, maybe off the pick and roll, you pop, catch it, they close out hard, you're able to hit a little combo and then get to the basket, or hit a little combo, hit a snatchback, hit a three. Definitely valid in terms of being like a secondary option in terms of ball handling. Hoff strong handle, so you know you won't get bothered as you won't get bothered as much, I should say, as you bring the ball up the court. Especially you rip down a rebound, there's no outlet you're pushing it yourself, they're trying to bump you, you know, you give them a little, get off me little guy, you know what I'm saying? Last but not least, speed with ball. We're going just high enough to get the bronze lightning launch. Now you could use your Badge Max +1 to put it onto silver, which obviously will give you a bit of a boost to your first step, but we do get lightning launch on this build. Now onto the defense. This is last thing. You see, we're already a 91 overall, so we had to be very creative with how we did this. Now, first things first, like I said, I'm using my cat breakers. I'm going 91 on the old board. And I know people are gonna be complaining in the comments, bro, why wouldn't you go 92? Because you didn't watch the whole video. I'm using my cat breaker on my O board to push it to 92 to unlock that gold rebound chaser, right? But I'm saving the attribute point so that I can use it elsewhere on my defense. If you don't have cap breakers, you're gonna wanna put that to 92, but I have cap breakers, I'm putting it 91. But block, 74 block. You might think it's too low. Block this year only affects getting your hand on the ball, and even with bronze, you will get blocks, you will get snatch blocks, as you can see. Obviously, it would be great to go higher, to get silver or gold or even beyond, but we had to budget, right? We're a point center. We need offense, we need shooting, we need rebounding, physicals. So I went 74, obviously tweak it to your liking. We're going 73 steal. That's gonna get you silver interceptor, and at 6'9" with long arms, you can hawk lanes, jumping up and grabbing them, stealing the slip, doing everything that you would need to do as that back end type of defender. Silver is very, very valid this year just because of the way lane steals are. If you know what you're doing, you can absolutely hawk lanes. We're going 72 on the perimeter. 71 gives us bronze challenger, but 72 gives us that silver immovable. And that's it, 64 interior. Now, obviously, like I said, tweak the build to your liking. This build is going to be called an inside out point center. This is the one I was using on stream the other day that you guys were spamming me for, because I'm not gonna lie, we were not only going crazy, but having fun on it. And that's what this build is. It's a build that I made to have fun and play the way that I want to play the game. Inside out point center, I tweaked it. I was actually able to get slashing point center. There's a bunch of little different tweaks you can make to get different build names, but this is the build that I went with. If y'all want to check out my guard build that I'm using for 5v5 Pro-Am, click that video on the screen right there. That build in terms of comp scenarios goes absolutely crazy at PG.